All right, Joe. So on Tuesday, I attended the Capitol Hill Policy Briefing Series of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, and they just like brought in some experts to talk about different things. And the first title of like the discussions was the U.S. gun violence exported abroad, and they were just talking about how like basically like the guns are being exported to Mexico from the United States. Cause apparently I didn't know this, but like there's only like one legal gun store in Mexico, and so where are they getting their guns from? You know what I'm saying? And like obviously it's like the United States. That's what we were talking about. Like, and in the U.S. there's what did I say? Cause I was writing notes, y'all. But in the U.S. there's 58,000 legal gun stores, and there's 800 along the U.S.-Mexico border, and apparently 50% of like U.S. dealers rely on illegal trade. And so I feel like that's really important and stuff, like, to think about. Because honestly, like me, I didn't really, like, I guess dig too deep into, like, the topic of, like, gun control and all that type of stuff. Like, I've heard about it. I've been aware about a bit of it. Like, obviously, like, the shootings and stuff that we hear in the news and stuff like that, which isn't cool. But at the same time, I've also heard like the other side about how like, you know, there's people that are actually responsible with the way that they use guns and stuff, or they just use it for like hunting or like, you know, whatever the case may be, or just like self-defense or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so I've like heard different like topics, or like different perspectives, I should say, and stuff about it. But not really too like deeply to the point where like I would be like trying to like solve the problems themselves, just because that's not my area of expertise necessarily. But I feel like it's still important for all of us to know, especially when I think about like issues that I really care about. I care about all of it and stuff like that, but like that I want to focus on in terms of like my career and stuff like that, and would be like immigration and like the roots of immigration and stuff like that. And that's something that we got to think about and stuff, because obviously people don't feel safe in the country that they live in, like in this case like Mexico and stuff. They're going to be coming over to migrate over to like the United States. And so when we're thinking about gun policies and stuff, we shouldn't just be basing it off of like just the US, because yeah, I feel like, I don't know, when we think about the US and like the issues, we only think about like how it's impacting like the citizens here. But even policies like this, like gun control and stuff like that, and the restrictions and stuff like that, it's also impacting Mexico, because we're just so interconnected and everything like that. So I just thought it was interesting, especially because one of the things that they mentioned too is that like now that there's being like restrictions being reduced in the United States for guns, it's also impacting Mexico. Like now there's like more availability to obtain like high calibered or like high-powered weapons and stuff, and now, you know, people in Mexico are able to also get access to that, and that would mean criminals and the cartels, and apparently the police is having a really hard time over there in Mexico stopping them now as well, because it's like now they got more power and stuff to do more evil things. So I don't know, I just think it was something interesting and something for people to know about. And so yeah, that's coming out my little spiel or whatever. So I hope y'all learned something new.